Hey everyone, it's Bethany, and in this video I am going to be making some stickers with the Cricut Joy. So I thought this would be really fun because we are big into stickers at our house and my girls go through them like crazy. So I thought it'd be fun to make a set of stickers for them to play with, and I thought it would be really neat to use this adhesive back paper that is newly released with the Cricut Joy. I have bought a lot of this because it's really actually fun to use. So I will link throughout this tutorial other videos that I've used this material on. It's really fun. But a lot of you have also said that you have been making little things like envelope stickers for the back of your envelopes. And I thought that was such a wonderful idea. And since we are huge sticker fans in our house, I thought getting some stickers through the Cricut Joy would be a really fun little project. So what I'm going to do is these actually come in longer sheets. In fact, I'll show you the packaging. They come and the sizing is 4.5 by 12, so they would fit this entire sheet. But I have some scrap pieces that I have from other projects, so I cut them to exact sizes so that they were all the same. I believe they're all the same. One might be a tad longer than the other, so I might have to trim that down. But I'm going to place one right on my mat so I know the exact dimensions. And it looks like my pieces, again, yours will be longer if you buy the pack, but mine are cut down. Okay, so my pieces that I have left over are 8 inches in length, and that's what I'm focusing on in length. So I am planning on making 1-inch stickers. So I will show you how I'm going to get all of this organized in Cricut Design Space. So materials that you're going to need are the Cricut Joy card mat. I would recommend the longer one if you can. Otherwise, you'll just cut down the material and use the shorter one. That's just fine. And then this Cricut Deluxe adhesive back paper is going to be really fun to use for stickers. All right, let's get started.
Okay, so what I'm going to do for mine is I'm going to create some heart stickers. I think that will be really neat. So what I'm going to do is, let me zoom out just a little bit here, and I am going to come over to the shapes and I'm just going to grab a heart. And I am going to make it, I would think, let's make it about a little under an inch. Okay, so I'm at 0.94 by 0.9. Okay, so that looks good to me. So now what I'm going to do is, I know that I can fit 4 across because I have, my mat is 4.5 by 12. So I can fit 4 of these across. So what I'm going to do is, now that I have the size that I like, I'm going to come over here to duplicate, and I'm going to duplicate that 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then I am going to just place them next to each other. Now I can kind of use the canvas grid as a backdrop. So what I can do is I can just kind of place those within the 1-inch grids. So what I can do now is I can select all of them, and then I can say align. I can distribute them horizontally so that they are all spaced evenly. Then I can say align again, and I will say align bottom. That way they are all even. So they're even in between one another and they are even along the bottom. So now that that is all perfect, what I can do is I can come over here and I can say attach. So now they are all attached together and this is one piece. Okay, so let's go ahead and just make these pink, and then I can go ahead and make my rows. So I know that I have 8 inches that I can work with. So I can take this entire row now that it is attached and I can duplicate it. So there's my second row, duplicate for my third row, duplicate for my fourth row, and I will make 8 rows. Okay, so now I have my 8 rows. So now what I will do is I will select everything. I will come up here and I will say align, and I will say align right. And then I will say align again, and I will say distribute vertically. Okay, so now they are all even. Now that everything is even, just so now it makes all of the stickers very organized. And if you're like me, you like things organized and not haphazard. So now what I'm going to do is, now that everything is selected, I will come over here and attach them all together. And this will ensure that this is going to cut just like this. So now what we can do is we can come over, we have the Joy selected, we can say make it. Okay, and then we're going to click on the mat because the Deluxe adhesive back paper needs to go on a mat. So then we'll select done. It's automatically going to place it on the 4.5 by 12-inch mat, which is the longer of the 2 mats for the Cricut Joy. So if you don't have that mat, no problem. You will just use a smaller amount of rows. So you'll just delete a couple rows and do as many as you can for the shorter mat. Okay, so now we can go ahead and say, let's see, we have 5 pieces of this paper, so we're going to do 5 versions of this project. So we'll say 5 here, and we can say apply. Okay, so now it has 5 mats of the same project. Now we'll go ahead and say continue. For materials, we'll browse all materials and we will scroll down to paper and we will say Deluxe Paper Adhesive Backed. Click that and say done. And now we can load our first mat and get cutting.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and open up my Joy. I already have the first paper loaded on the mat. And then what I can do is just auto feed it in. It's going to pull it all in and make sure we have enough material. And then we'll go ahead and click go. Okay, so the first sheet is done. So I'm going to go ahead and unload my mat. And then I'm going to turn my mat completely upside down. And I'm going to bend the mat while keeping a firm palm on the paper. And then I'll take it off that way. So then I can just go ahead and load my next mat and make sure that the Deluxe paper setting is selected in Design Space. Deluxe Paper Adhesive Backed. Load it, and then the next set can cut. Okay, so the final sheet has just cut, so I'm going to unload it and take it off the mat, and I'll show you how I am going to finish up these stickers. So I was doing all the other mats as they were cutting just to make good use of my time, but what I did was I then took my sheet, and in the corner I just grabbed to peel apart the top layer and just to separate it. And then what I did was I laid it down on the table here and I slowly peeled away the background. So it's almost like you are weeding it out, essentially. And I just peeled away, almost kind of like you're weeding infusible ink, but I found it easiest to kind of go at an angle, back and forth and back and forth. Okay, so if you just kind of roll back and forth, it just comes right off and you're left with your stickers on your sheet. Now, if you have any little areas where the little paper still got on between, you can just take your weeding tool and quickly take that out and it's all gone. So there's a couple spots. This was actually the only sheet that happened on, so I must have been going a little too quickly. Okay, and then what I did, only because I am a perfectionist, is I trimmed off this side just so that it had equal sides on each side, and just put that through my paper trimmer. Voila! And now this is so much easier when you take all that background off, because then you can just simply bend and take a sticker right off. And so that'll be so much easier for you to do. Plus, if you're giving these to little kiddos, that's so much easier for them to take off as well. But there you go. That's really, really quick and easy work of making stickers with the Cricut Joy. They all turned out really, really sweet. I love how they look. And they're really durable too, because they resemble like a cardstock in feel. So I think that they are going to make a really fun little sticker. Again, some ideas that others were having where you could use these to seal envelopes on the back. Honestly, I hope they come out with something Christmas related in theme for this paper, because I would really like to make some envelope stickers for my Christmas cards this year, but so far they don't really have anything that's very holiday like. So I'm hoping that they release something in this material that is Cricut or Christmas related, because I think that would be really, really fun. And if they do, then I'll definitely do a tutorial on it. All right, everyone, if you thought this was fun and if you think they turned out really, really cute, be sure to give us a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video.